This episode is brought to you by AWS. Amazon Q Business is the generative AI assistant that can securely understand your business data, summarize results, and streamline tasks. Learn what Amazon Q Business can do for you at aws.com/learn more.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in places that could expose you to identity theft. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, their US-based restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
This year, Santa's bringing the power of Energizer into his workshop.
Whoa, the Energizer Bunny's got so much power.
Wait, he's powered up all the toys. I think that means we're done for the year.
I love this bunny.
He's the hardest working helper the North Pole has ever seen. And he wants all your gifts to have the power of the #1 longest lasting AA battery. So this holiday season, stock up on Santa's and the elves' favorite battery, Energizer Ultimate Lithium.
Feel your max with Brooks Running and the all-new Ghost Max 2. They're the shoes you deserve, designed to streamline your stride and help protect your body. Treat yourself to feel-good landings on an ultra-high stack of super comfy nitrogen-infused cushion that takes the edge off every step, every day. The Brooks Ghost Max 2. You know, technically, they're a form of self-care. Brooks, let's run there. Head to brooksrunning.com to learn more.
This episode is brought to you by NFL Sunday Ticket on YouTube TV. Catch every moment of your team's playoff push with NFL Sunday Ticket on YouTube TV. You'll get amazing features like multi-view, and right now, it's only $49 for the rest of the NFL regular season. So give yourself the ultimate gift this holiday season. Get NFL Sunday Ticket for $49. Sign up now at youtube.com/Sunday Ticket. Device and content restrictions apply. Local and national games on YouTube TV. NFL Sunday Ticket for out-of-market games excludes digital-only games.
Drink it in, man.
Cornbread! Cornbread! Touchdown, Detroit Lions!
Drink it in, man.
Cornbread! Cornbread! Touchdown, Detroit Lions!
Drink it in, man. Drink it in, man. Detroit Koolaid. Detroit Koolaid drinkers. What's going on, everybody? It's your host, Derek Ogre, right here on the Detroit Koolaid Cast, talking about those Lions. Drink it in, everybody. Drink it in, man. Side of cornbread.
Cornbread!
Make it a double.
Cornbread!
And I'm coming to you solo, doing the show a day early. Usually record kind of on that Tuesday evening. It's Monday, late afternoon, early evening. Gonna get this in because I, like so many others, will be working and traveling and seeing family and enjoying time away and food and gifts and church and all the things that come with the Christmas season, as well as just, like I said, just relaxing. Is going to be awesome. From Christmas right into the new year, before you know it'll be 2025. And if you didn't know, our Lions are 13-2. They're still the #1 seed in football. They are overcoming all obstacles when it comes to injuries, so we don't have time to mess around. I want to do this Bears review. I may even explain / apologize on this show, which is very rare. I also kind of want to get into why this team is different, what the grit's all about, and why they can and will continue to win ball games and overcome. They are built different, as Jared Goff has said many a times. And then I got to get into us traveling all the way out to San Francisco, that team that stole our Super Bowl trophy last year after we just fell apart in the second half. They're eliminated from the playoffs already, by the way, we're going out there on Monday night to get a lick back, take care of business, and then see if there's going to be a showdown at Ford Field against the Minnesota Vikings or not. So let's get right into this. I mean, looking at this Bears game, I mean, what have we been saying for months and months continually on the show? Easy dub. I went on and on last week about being realistic, about injuries and struggles with this team, loving Dan Campbell's moxie, but wanting him to be able to back it up. But then I doubled down and I'm like, I'm not talking about this game at Chicago. I know some people out there were like, oh, this might be a trap game. They might lose 2 in a row. Watch out for those Bears. No. No, I told you we're going to go in, do what we got to do. That's exactly what this football team did. Let's rumble through it real quick. I mean, early in the game, put a nice drive together, 9 plays, 55 yards, 4 minutes off the clock. Get a 30-yard field goal from my boy, Jake Bates. He had missed 1 field goal. People were going crazy. Getting back on track for him was nice. A very heavy dose of the multi-dimensional, positionless. Wait for it. Elite weapon. Jahmyr Gibbs here early in the game. 10 carries in the first half. Feeding him the football, throwing him the football. I love him in our screen game. Got down, inside the 1, and he took him a couple times. 3 straight carries. Was finally able to get it in the end zone. It blows my mind sometimes how these NFL players who are big physical beasts, they got 1 yard to go. They got all these big 330-pound monsters blocking for them. And they'll get right up to the goal line instead of extend the ball or lean their body forward or, dive for the end zone. They'll just get stonewalled at the inch line or their elbow will go down. It might have cost me a fantasy football matchup in the playoffs. But all these things where they're barely down before the goal line, just unbelievable. So Jahmyr Gibbs getting stopped twice. Just 1 yard to go with his electric ability and just his skill set and also his power was crazy to watch. But he's elite and was able to get in the end zone, which was nice to see. A touchdown helped a lot of fantasy owners, I'm sure. You know what I mean? We come back again. We had 2 early Rome Odunze fumbles for Chicago. I mean, good job taking a wide receiver in the top 10 instead of adding to, your offensive line, your defensive line, maybe some defensive studs. No, let's go get more fancy outside playmakers that have the Nike butter stick gloves on that can't catch. I like Rome Odunze as a player. He was a very safe pick. I'm sure he'll be a very nice pro. But he hasn't had a very good rookie year. And like I say, Butter Sticks McGee over here was just putting the ball on the ground. Great plays by the Lions. So you got to give it to him. The one, he's going down the field and just absolute hustle from behind for the guy to knock it out and for us to get on the football. And then I don't know what they were doing on that reverse run where it just put it right in the breadbasket and he just puts it on the ground. And Josh Pascal got a freebie. So that was nice to see. So 13-0 after quarter 1. I mean, you're just looking at this game going, easy dub. Easy freaking dub, right? That's what we're all saying. And then it got even a little easier when Chops' boy, hashtag golf train JG16, whatever you want to call him. I mean, all aboard, everybody. He drops back. He unleashes the football down the field. Was it a spiral? Was it not? I think it was a pretty good spiral. TBD if you ask me. But we don't have to wait to see because this ball was perfectly thrown. I mean, about 60 yards down the football field. And the throw was good, don't get me wrong. But the speed, the ability for hashtag JMO Fast just outrun the coverage. I mean, he was just gliding. Those wheels were turning. And he just blows by the corner, blows by the safety, Jared Goff puts the ball out there for him, and all you have to do is get in the vicinity. And yes, we've had times he's looking over the wrong shoulder. Goff throws it to a hard spot for him to catch it. Maybe a couple drops here or there. But he's also had some very nice deep ball catches, and this had to be the best. I mean, just put the old mittens out, snatched it over the shoulder, in stride, waltzed into the end zone. An 82-yard touchdown. Like I said, the ball, I think, went 60-some in the air. That's a two-play, 93-yard drive in 43 seconds. 20-0. I mean, do I have to get Denny out here to tell you about the Chicago Bears? Okay, I'll do it.
The Bears are what we thought they were. What we thought they were. Bullshit. The Bears are who we thought they were.
Thanks, Denny. That's for you at Joey Sports Guy. I know you're out there somewhere drinking that Detroit Koolaid or that orange Kool-Aid, which you should be blue because, I mean, our team's rolling, your team not so much. So 20-0, and this is where you look at it, and, you know, they put a drive together, whatever, 14 plays, 70 yards. Chicago does, right? And they get on the end zone for like a 1-yard touchdown to Cole Kmet. I forget what it was. I think it was like Keenan Allen almost got tackled at the 1. He started making a few plays. Keenan Allen, by the way, I was a little upset because I thought he was going to cost me because he got stopped at the 1. He came up huge, helped me get to a fantasy championship. Appreciate you. He's really kind of finding his groove. But Cole Kmet gets this cheap touchdown. What do the Lions do? Go right back, 11 plays, 70 yards, and they throw this little screen ball, like just a little bubble out to the left to Amon-Ra. And I swear, when he caught this ball, there were people all around him. It just seems dead to rights. And then he just makes a couple little shifty moves, just wiggles in there, gets a couple big blocks from the big hosses like Decker. And my boy, Christian Mahogany, who just roll people out the way. He just waltzes in the end zone. A 8-yard TD pass, JG16 to ARSB, or as Stash in the ATL would sing his name.
Amon-Ra.
We don't have Chops here this week to do the breathy, funny version that his kids enjoy so much, which was actually the original Amon-Ra that he just said funny for whatever reason, and I found it hilarious, and now it's become a gimmick on the show. Most like all of our goofiness here on the Detroit Koolaid Cast. Drink it in, everybody.
Drink it in, man.
But so 27-7. I mean, this is with 5 minutes left in the second quarter. You think we're just going to roll into half, 27-7. We get the ball after the half. But sure enough, like, we let the Bears get a couple plays. You know, next thing you know, Sub-Zero, Terry on was just, he's just fiending for that interception. He's been out there so much. He's got a bunch of, not a bunch, he got his share of penalties, as well as he just kind of gets picked on, and he doesn't make any huge impactful plays. He makes tackles, he's in the right spot, he's had a nice rookie year, don't get me wrong, but he was just fiending for that interception. So he gets yoked on the double move, jumps up, even admitted it, I think, in post game. They throw it up over the top, 45-yard touchdown to Keenan Allen. Helped me in fantasy, wasn't that happy, but still, it's 27-14. I mean, this reminds me of a quote from back in the day. This reminds me when stuff like this happens, you just know this is the case when you're the superior team.
I was just laughing. I thought it was funny. You know, they got excited. It's good. You know, sometimes you get your little brother excited when you're playing basketball and stuff. You let him get the lead, and then you just come back and take it back.
Exactly, Mike Hart. I couldn't have said it better myself. Chicago is our little brother, as is Green Bay, as is Minnesota. Okay, at times we let a few plays, we let a few points up there, but when little brother or brothers think they're going to make plays,
Brother.
like, we just come right back and snatch it back from them. Like, oh, cool, you got a couple, like, congratulations. Okay, now I must still beat you. And that's exactly what the Lions were going to do. I was confident. It was like, oh, that's nice. They scored 2 touchdowns. Congratulations. You knew we were still going to take care of business. So head into halftime, 27-14. And then in the third quarter, with like 2 minutes left, so the Lions really don't do much here in the second half, but either does Chicago. They do basically nothing, to be honest. Late in the third quarter, I mean, do we have to say it every week? Do we have to continue to praise this man? Of course we do.
Ben Johnson, I love you. Ben Johnson, you are my hero.
Ben Genius decides to draw it up on the old grease board. Hey, hashtag golf train. How about you hike the football, pretend to fall down, have the multi-dimensional positionless elite weapon dive to the ground, fall to the ground. Both of you look like you're stumbling and bumbling. Pretend there's a fumble. Have the offensive line scream ball on the ground, fumble, all this other boola. And then it was all just a gimmick, all just a ruse, all a hoax, when really you're just fake tripping and falling and putting the ball on the ground, only to turn around and throw a absolute perfect ball, incredible catch over the shoulder by Sammy Biscuits. And this one was for all the Laporta supporters out there, as @Chops in the D tweeted out, as well as I like to do gimmicks. You can find me at Derek Oakery on the old Twitterverse. I mean, we find out post-game, this is called STUMBLEBUM. I believe that was the name, STUMBLEBUM. I mean, that might even be trolling to an extra level when you put bum on the end playing against the Chicago Bears, who have lost, 8, 9 in a row. Their quarterback paints their nails. They think they have offensive weapons, yet they can't stop anyone. They can't score points. They can't win ball games. So the bum might have been for them, but the stumble was absolutely perfection. I mean, you could not go back and do that any better from a fake standpoint, an execution, a fooling the defense. I mean, all they wanted was them to freeze, and then boom, right up over the top, Sam Laporta, 21-yard touchdown. Great throw, great catch, great play. And then, the only other score in this ball game was like 6 minutes left in the third, where Chicago gets a field goal. Why they taking field goals when it's 34-14? I will never know. But 34-17, the game ends. We coast to the end of the game. Yes, there were other plays that I'm not going to talk about. I liked what I saw from the backups on defense. BB, my boy, Brian Branch was all over the field. He always pops off the film. Gibbs balled out from the running back perspective. You got what you needed. J-Mo with the big game, 143 and that 80-plus yard touchdown. I mean, 150 some yards from Gibbs. Jared Goff again, 3-6, I think that is, with 3 touchdowns, no turnovers, no pick. I mean, just another beautiful performance from the quarterback. Shout out to the hashtag golf train and everybody that's on board, including me, by the way. It was just a straight up easy dub. I mean, incredible. Just coasted 34-17. Ran a stumble bum, fall down, throw it up over the top, threw an 80-yard touchdown. Our running backs were doing their thing. Got back to our identity, as Dan Campbell said. Took care of business. Got a Dubski. I mean, that's what it's all about. So before we get our commercial sponsors in, I just want to clear something up. Because last week, was I pissed that we lost to Buffalo? Yes, because I really don't think Buffalo is that great. They have this fancy quarterback who everyone's wooing and on. Did anybody see Josh Allen's hair coming out the back of his helmet yesterday? It looked like he used a woman's straightener on the back of his hair. Like, normally if you're going to have the football hair or the hockey hair, you want the curls coming out the back. He had this weird, flat, straight, weird hair coming out the back of his helmet. He's a beast. He's a good quarterback. He's got an incredible arm. He can run. We get it. But if he doesn't play incredible, That team's not that good. I'm here to tell you. They have a couple players here and there, a couple defenders that give you a hard time. I don't see them winning more than one. I don't even see them win 2 playoff games. So I was mad we lost to them. I was also upset that every good player we seem to have left was just dropping like flies. And people were trying to tell me, oh, next man, we're going to be fine. And it's just like, I would say that too if we lost 1, 2, 3 players, but we're like into the teens now, and most of them are like our top defenders, whether it be on the D line or the middle of our defense, our linebacker or outside corner that was playing good for us, and then we even got some injuries on the other side of the football. So yeah, I was real upset with the loss. I was even more upset with the injuries, and I came on here and I told you about, hey, we gotta be real. I love this bravado from Dan freaking Campbell, but don't come out there and swear on the radio and tell me you're gonna do this and do that when you're down so many bodies. And you guys know, on this pod for years and years, since the day I started it, the reason I called it Detroit Koolaid Cast, because ever since I've been a Lions fan, they've been terrible, and all I do every year was think, man, look at our squad. This will be the year. We're going to get it rolled. Look at this piece. Look at that piece. We can do some things. And we always were falling short, finding ways to lose, not having leadership, not being able to grind out ball games. And it's not like that hit me because I come on here and try to be positive. I like to do gimmicks. I like to laugh. I like to have some fun. But like I was just, I guess, in that mood of like, is this going to derail our season? Are we not going to be able to overcome? Or is it just bluster when you're coming out and saying, we're good, don't worry, we're going to be fine, this is what we needed? That seemed like a lot of coach speak to me, but the more I thought about it, obviously Chops came on here and played my role. He was just pumping up everything. He's not worried. They're going to overcome. This team is different. And they are different, man. The more I thought about it, like, the injuries are still a factor. Don't get me wrong. But the thing that's nice is to have a team and a coach and a GM and an organization like this is that they're smart enough to beat you schematically. They built a team that's grit and physical, so they can out-physical you, beat you up. They also have high-flying skill players, so they can outscore you. And they can also just do what Dan Campbell said, which was we might win ugly the rest of the year. This was obviously an easy dub against Chicago. We may have some games where we grind out low-scoring games. We beat you with a couple trick plays. Maybe we just run the football and find a way to win that way if we have to in bad weather, whatever it may be. And I'm all for that. I'm always going to be supporting my team. So I'm explaining, so I was apologizing if last week I was a little bit quote-unquote negative, or I was down, or I was given not the non-Kool-Aid answers. It's just I was looking for answers. I was looking for reasons that they were going to be able to overcome. And I was not concerned about Chicago. But I am concerned that you go out to the West Coast, you get that dub, and then you're going to have to show up big against Minnesota. One game at a time. I get it. But I want that number 1 seed. I want the home field throughout. You guys have worked too hard to have that taken away due to some random injuries late in the year from week 10 on. We just been having our top guys go. Obviously, Hutch, week 5, I think he went out. That was huge. So that's what got on me. But now I'm rejuvenated. I feel like this offense can do what Chop said, which is outscore people, do their thing. I feel like Dan Campbell will win any means necessary. He also isn't scared of anything. He loves the bright lights. He loves adversity. He will find a way to overcome. That's what he does. That's what this team does. I'm very confident that if they can find a way to win these next 2 ball games in San Francisco home against Minnesota, there is absolutely no reason that we can't win 2 football games at Ford Field, go to New Orleans, and play whoever, hopefully Kansas City, and take it to them and find a way to get a dub to win the Super Bowl. So get hype, everybody. Drink it in, double-sided cornbread. Let's go.
Drink it in, man.
Cornbread.
All right, that's what I got for the first part. Again, we've been mixing in lots of sponsors in the front of the show, throughout the show, in the middle here. Please either check those out or listen to them or do what you can to help support the show, because we couldn't keep doing the show without all those sponsors, without Chops coming on. We've still been trying to figure out some guests down the road, but it's just been a grind this season. Here we are with 2 weeks left, playoffs right on the horizon. and we're trying to be very consistent and bring you a top quality Detroit Koolaid Cast every week. And we may double dip in the playoffs, or as we get closer, we'll see what happens. But we just appreciate you guys supporting those sponsors, supporting the show, hitting us up on Twitter, sharing it with your friends, and telling them to check it out. You need some Detroit Kool-Aid in your life. So everybody, check out some more sponsors. We come back. I want to talk about why this team's different. I want to get you ready for the San Francisco very big ball game coming up on Monday Night Football, and what might happen before then. That's going to be important too. Everybody, we'll be right back. All right, everybody. This goes out to my fantasy football fans out there. Now, you probably heard about Reality Sports Online, the most powerful fantasy sports platform where owners can build and manage their fantasy team like a real NFL general manager. But the question is, have you tried it? I mean, we're talking free agency, multi-year contracts, rookie drafts, multi-team trades. You can put franchise tags on guys. It's as close as you're going to get to being an NFL GM. But do you think it sounds complicated? It's not. I'm here to tell you it's the best thing about Reality Sports Online is it's just more fun than your normal fantasy league, but it doesn't take barely any more time. After all this, are you still not sure? I mean, come on now. You can test your general manager skills by going over to Reality Sports Online, call it RSO. Please go check out realitysportsonline.com right now. Kool-Aid drinkers, we're back. Thank you so much for listening to the show, sharing the show, checking out the show. Shout out to everybody that did the Detroit Koolaid Cast Fantasy League. 20 teams, 20 players per team. You gotta know ball. You gotta go deep. We did best ball this year, which I thought was a real big success, where you got the best scorers on your team, but you still were grinding for those depth running backs, depth wideouts, looking for tight ends, trying to find a defense. Oh, there's no kickers left. So everybody had real fun with that. I can't say that I can always keep tabs on who's doing what, but you know I had a really good regular season, and just like a lot of my other leagues that have a lot of potato chips on the line, I think we'll see. I could still pull it up. I think I came up short against Wow! 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 Yeah, that's what I said, Frank Ribble. When your team showed up big, everybody on your whole roster scored a bunch of points, you beat me. I saw that at Chops in the D went down to Trevor Tyler, I believe it is, or Tyler Trev. I mean, this guy's in like every one of my leagues, and every time I go up against him, he's finding ways to beat me, beat my friends. Like he's putting out great rosters. It looks like it's gonna be him versus Ribble in the championship. I mean, whoever would have thought that combo, or that Ribble would get there? I mean, he must be wearing his lucky Saint Patrick shirt with the fishing. I don't know what's going on there, but I know Ribble thought he had a chance. I thought I was going to take it to him. Some of my guys showed up, not enough, unless Josh Jacobs goes for like 30 points. And I don't know, Swagoo, Jamal Williams shows up out of nowhere and scores touchdown and gets me, I don't know, hopefully 50 yards. That might put me over the top, but I'm not holding my breath. But again, thanks to everybody that did that. The draft is so fun. The season was easier to manage this year with the best ball. You just let your guys go out there and do what they do. You get the best scorers. So encouragement again to everybody out there that loves football, loves players and drafts, and get in a couple leagues and have some fun every year. Don't tell yourself you're too busy. It is a good time, even when you get the bad beats like I've got this year come playoff time and lost a lot of heartbreakers. So shout out to everybody. Very fun. Let's get right into this here on the second half, because the more I was thinking about it, I kind of got into it before the commercial break. Like, this Lions organization is so different. When I say they're different than any other in the National Football League, and they're damn sure different than anything that we are used to. as Lions fans. And I get frustrated on the radio when I hear people call up and want to tell you how old they are and how long they've been a Lions fan and tell you about all the heartbreaks they've had and how life's been so tough. It's like this boo-hoo story, or like, oh, I went through it, so I deserve X. And I also get upset when like the radio hosts want to come on and tell you, well, we're not used to winning and this is unfamiliar to us. I mean, thank you for what a blessing this is what all other cities have got except us. So we don't need to thank the players. We don't need to talk about every week how we don't know what to do with ourselves, or we're so unused to this winning. I mean, get used to it, because what they're finally doing is what we've clamored for years. How many people, how many friends have you had that were like, man, if we really want to win ball games, we got to build from the trenches. We got to get an O-line and a D-line. But then those same people, I would always counter with, yeah, I agree, you got to have big, nasty beasts. But in today's NFL, you also got to have skill players. And they went out and they've obtained those guys on the outside, at running back, at tight end. The team is just built different than we've seen before, but it's built like a lot of the teams that have won. Great leadership, great coaching. They find ways to out-scheme, out-think you. They have ball players at all types of levels. They are deep. They are physical. They aren't scared. They relish the moment. They have guys that love the spotlight. Like, we have all that now. So when I say this team is built different, I think it's just built different than we had, because in the past it was skilled players with no nasty beasts, or a couple beasts on defense, and you think that you're going to beat a whole bunch of the really good teams in the National Football League, or missing on second round pick after second round pick after third round pick after second round pick after top 10 pick. I mean, what do you think is going to happen when that happens versus now, when Brad, always open for business, Holmes is hitting absolute just Hall of Famers with his first round pick, his third, he's finding guys in the fifth, he's finding guys in the sixth. Like, yes, that's going to change your organization. But when I think about why they're built different and why they're built different enough to win, even with the injuries, even with the adversity, it's because of Dan freaking Campbell, and it's also because of this mentality that he's built, which is, I don't even want to hear about injuries. I don't even want to hear excuses. I don't want to even put it in my mindset. Dan Campbell wants people around him that are positive, that are excited about the moment, that are going to put a bad moment behind them and keep moving forward, are going to fight through the little injuries that used to put our star players on the shelves for weeks and months. He's also so down to earth that if when bad stuff happens, he's able to move forward or just understand that's part of life. You know, anybody that thinks we're always going to be perfect, we're going to win every ball game, or we're never going to have any injuries, or we're just going to, is living in La La Land as well. And that's not where Dan Campbell or Brad Holmes or Sheila Ford Hamp or anybody on this current regime is at. They're all very real, they're very open, and they're just built different. They built a different team, organization, leadership, everything. And it's so exciting to be a part of, because I think we're almost like taking Dan freaking Campbell at this point for granted, that he's just going to be here forever, and you know, he's going to always take a discount, and he's going to want to go anywhere, and all our assistants are going to stay. And you know, I think Chops hit me up, I don't know if it was on air or sometimes we chat off air, where he was just like, man, if people leave, Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes have a plan already for who may replace them. I mean, even see with Scotty Montgomery. You know, they brought him in after everybody loved Deuce, right? Deuce said, man, he's funny. Him and AG getting after each other. I'm here to tell you, just straight up, like, Scotty Montgomery's a better coach. He's just a better all-around coach and leader. And that's nothing against Deuce. That's all about Scotty Montgomery. I love everything I've seen from him. Everything that he's done since he's been here. He's an absolute stud in every level. And I could see him not only being a head coach, but being a, if Ben Genius leaves, I'm pretty dang confident that a guy like Scotty Montgomery could just slide right in there and do absolute work. Could do what Ben Genius has done for this team. So they're not going anywhere. We're not going to all of a sudden miss on a bunch of draft picks, not re-sign people. Our core is already locked up for the next 3 to 4 years, so there's no worries even there. So I just want everybody to be so excited about how different they are. Jared Goff is great too when it comes to just being different. He always says this team's different. He always ends his huddles at the end of the game-winning speeches with "we're bleeping different" and "let's keep going forward." And this dude has a sense that we haven't had at the quarterback position, which is he doesn't just say the right thing, he means it. He doesn't also just say the right thing because sometimes he will say what most others wouldn't say. He's not afraid. He doesn't get beat down. At times I feel like he's almost too confident, where it's just dude, you are just riding so high that you think nothing will ever go wrong and that you've got every answer, but he basically does. And so do his teammates. So if he's at the helm and we have offensive and defensive players, especially on the O-line and the D-line, as well as Dan Freaky Campbell and Brad always over business Holmes leading this organization, we're not only built different, we are different. We're going to continue to be different, and that means we're going to win when other teams lose. We're going to overcome when other teams stumble, quote, pun intended. We're going to find ways to win when others find ways to lose. We're going to, have adversity hit us and embrace it rather than recoil from it. So I just love how different they're built, how different the mentality is, and I think the fan base is finally going to get on board with being different too, and not telling me how old you are, not saying, oh, I've been a 50-year, they've hurt me so much, I don't know what's, being this team has proved themselves. These people, as I always said, they didn't play 50 years ago. They didn't play 20. They didn't play 10 years. They didn't play a couple years ago for you. So throw all that away. New team, new leadership, new mentality, new approach. And that's something to not only be excited about, but be confident in, and stop telling us about, what happened 30 years ago and why that's going to impress her. Or same with the fans recently. The reason I got so mad about the jerseys, don't tell me this team's winning because of what uniforms they wear or what color scheme. This team wins because they're built different. They got ball players and they refuse to lose. So I'm excited if you can't tell. And the reason I'm hyped is because we got 2 ball games left. 2 games. And San Francisco, we're heading out to the West Coast. If you listen to this show from day one, you know that there was another co-host on this show who would always tell me, you go out to the West Coast, it's an automatic loss, or it's going to be a tough game, or we don't have a chance. Again, old school mentality. Old teams might have done that. Oh, we can't go to Arizona. Oh, we can't go to LA. Oh, San Francisco always beats us. Back in the day. Now, we're looking at this now. It is so fun to see San Francisco go from doing what they did to us in the NFC Championship game with 2 or 3 games left in the regular season. They are out. They were out before they started their game yesterday. They're out of the playoffs. Their record is what? Do they even have 6-7 wins? Somewhere in there? We have 13 wins. We almost have double the victories of the San Francisco 49ers. Every Darlington. Oh, look at our defenders that all make $30 million a year. Look at our quarterback we found with Mr. Irrelevant. Oh, we got 18 running backs, all of which are hurt. Oh, Debo. Oh, wait, he's a diva and showed his cards now, and he's over the hill. And oh, we're gonna just draft more wide receivers. Look what happened to them, man. So. Love seeing what happened to them. Love that they're down and out. Love that they have nothing to play for. So we can go out there and just smack them around. And don't tell me that Kyle Shanahan's going to scheme up something or they're going to rise to the occasion. No, they're not. They're going to do what they've done all year. Show up with a bunch of bravado. Dan Campbell's going to tell you how well they're coached, how hard they play, what a tough matchup this is. and we're going to pack up wearing our Lions suits or sweatpants or whatever we wear on the team plane. We're going to fly out there. We're going to send Penei Sewell off the bus first, along with our other nasty beasts on this team. And we're going to walk into San Francisco and beat them up for 4 quarters and find a way to get this dub and see, we'll know before we hit the field, did the Vikings find a way to beat the Packers or did they not? Because if they didn't, and then we go ahead and take care of business, that game against the Vikings in Ford Field doesn't mean a damn thing because we've got home field locked up. We can rest up some guys and we can get ready for a bye week and then play some football. That would be huge. But if Minnesota mans up and finds a way to beat the cheddar heads, the mozzarella sticks, we're more than happy to take care of San Francisco and have a big-time showdown in Detroit with everybody going crazy, with the whole world watching at Ford Field, probably in prime time or at the late game at the very least. Both teams would be 14-2. Somehow at 14-2 we wouldn't have the division wrapped up because the team we'd be playing is right behind us is also 14-2. They think they're going to come in and beat us. We already went to their house and beat them. They're a little bit healthier. We don't care because we're built different. We're led by Dan freaking Campbell. And he doesn't even give a crap what their record is.
And I don't give a crap.
Exactly, Dan Campbell.
All right.
All right, exactly. We're going to go ahead and take care of business. And that would be just an absolutely fun showdown. Everything on the line. I can see you guys already dancing in the aisles at Ford Field. We beat them. We win the division. We get the number 1 seed. All roads go through Detroit. And here's the other side of the coin. Let's say we come up short against Minnesota in our house. Okay, now we're just going to strap up, find a way to win in the wild card division, and then wait till we cross paths with Minnesota again, either in round 2, round 3, whatever, and then we're going to beat them then to go to the Super Bowl. So it's a big-time showdown. I mean, I don't know what to say really about San Francisco. They're on like their 9th running back. They got a couple guys on the outside. They got a few defenders that worry me, but this is a game I thought was going to be an absolute showdown as well, and it's not. San Francisco doesn't have this mentality to show up. They show up when all their guys are ready to roll, when they got all their fancy skill players, when Bosa's coming off the edge, they got Trent Williams. All these guys are either hurt or their ego is hurt, and they don't show up like Debo all year. He's over here whining and doing this. Well, what has Debo done for the last couple of years? A bunch of nothing, a bunch of talk, and he never shows up. So I expect the Lions to just out-physical them, out-scheme them, outplay them, outthink them, out-execute them, and just win this game. If I had to put a score on it, I mean, I could see it being a little bit more low-scoring. Gosh, part of me wants to give the Lions another 40-burger, though, to be honest. But let's go out to San Francisco and win 28-20. You know, nice 8-point dub. Not a big-time easy dub by multiple touchdowns, but an 8-point win in their house. They got nothing to play for. We got everything to play for. It seems like a game we should take care of on so many levels. This team is not going to roll over. They're not going to go out there and not be prepared. We're not going to get surprised by a bunch of backups or a bunch of guys that aren't showing up. San Francisco is not a team that's going to have beef. Like, oh, we're going to take everything from the Lions. These guys are already planning their trips to Cancun. They're already checked out mentally. They do not care. They have not showed up all year long. I guarantee they probably won't show up in this game. Will they make a couple plays? Sure. Will the game be tight early? Maybe. Will we pull away and make it feel like an hashtag easy dub? Yes, I think so. 28-20. Give me a dub for the Lions. How about those Lions? Exactly. Drink it in, everybody. Double-sided cornbread.
Drink it in, man.
Cornbread.
That's what I got. I hope you enjoyed it. I apologize. I hyped you up. We beat Chicago. This team is built different, and we're going to go ahead and take care of business on Monday night. Could take care of everything, but if we don't, the next week is going down for real against the Minnesota Vikings. So everybody, that's what I got. And I'll catch you next time. Enjoy your Christmas right here on the Detroit Koolaid Cast. Take care, everybody. I'm out.
Pack the bag, start the plane. This game is over. It is over. What a comeback by the Lions. Drink it in, man.